A lot of you know that physical practice is something that's super important to me. You probably saw it on my Instagram, on my YouTube, and pretty much every day of the week I am running, swimming, hand balancing, weightlifting, even breakdancing, because it's such an important part of my daily practice. It actually keeps me connected, it keeps me grounded, it keeps me focused, and it's also helped me stay sober. And I've been quite public about my struggles with drug and alcohol addiction in the past. I've made movies about them, and that daily physical practice is something that really keeps me connected. And it's so important for all of us to keep our mental health strong. And that's why this week we had to send our support to Nick Whitcomb up in Liverpool at Body Tech Gym, who had 5 armed police officers come to his gym this week to try to shut it down. They gave him a £1,000 fine, and they said they'd be back in 3 hours to double it to a £2,000 fine. They'd come back 3 hours later to double it again to a £4,000 fine. And he stood up in the face of fear against this ridiculous oppression and said, no, we need our gyms for the mental health of the citizens of this country. And I couldn't agree with Nick more, and I salute him for standing up to these ridiculous lockdowns. Nick went on to quote some of the figures and saying that gyms are not the problem here. Out of 22 million gym visits this year, only 78 resulted in COVID cases. That's 0.35 cases per 100,000. And that also, when you look at the data, you find out that according to Public Health England's own data, gym transmission of COVID is only happening for 1.7% of the cases, even lower than the hospitality industry, which also shouldn't be shut down. And so Nick is standing up. He's fighting back. He's gotten a ton of media attention, and it looks like they're going to allow gyms to stay open, even though they're going through this tier 3 lockdown that is, again, completely a disproportionate response to the virus, and there is no science to back these lockdowns. But he's standing up because the mental health of our citizens is so important. Male suicides in this country are at an all-time high. Okay, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. And to shut down our gyms, among many of the things that we're shutting down, which is also going to hurt our mental health, it's one of the worst things you can do. It's suicide for our country. And yet our politicians are pushing through, and when they are demanded to produce the science by the mayors of Manchester, when Andy Burnham calls out and say, where's the science? They cannot come up with the science. And fortunately, Nick Whitcomb has a mayor up in Liverpool, Joe Anderson, who backs him and his citizens. And he says, quote, he does not agree with the lockdown, and he said the politicians are more interested in what they look like than the actual evidence. And I'm so glad our brothers and sisters up north have that kind of leadership from their mayors. Because meanwhile, here in London, we have a mayor who is on a crusade to lock us down. He's lobbying the government to lock us down. He wants to shut down our businesses, our gyms, our hospitality sectors, everything. What's up, guys? Everything. And that's what frustrates me, because our mayor is not backing us. He's not trying to find a way to get London back to work. He's not thinking about our mental health. He's not thinking about the fact that if we don't have an economy in this city, everything is shut down. He's not trying to get more than 13% of the office workers back in here. He's not trying to think about how to put London's health first. That's our physical health and our mental health first. He is not even talking about the science. He's got one agenda. Let's lock this place down, and then let's ask for a big bailout next year on top of the £1 billion he just got to keep the tube open, on top of the £5 billion he got earlier this year to keep the tube open, and on top of the £20 billion that he's been asking for a bailout of his affordable housing crisis. And again, you will be paying for these bills, you, the taxpayer, and yet he'll blame the government for not locking down early enough, and he'll try to get elected again. And that's the problem with these career politicians and their vested interests. They do not look out for the citizens, and we need to change that now. We need to get leadership here who can have a proportionate response to the virus, protect those in danger, but allow the rest of us to continue doing the things we love to do every day, and start using science-backed decision-making. There is no science that's been presented here. Even the SAGE Committee of Scientific Advisors that advises the Prime Minister have said they weren't even consulted about the curfew. They cannot produce the science around the lockdown, and yet they're asking us citizens to bear the brunt of this, and it's going to come back in our mental health. Suicide rates are going to continue to go up, and we are going to be permanently damaged as a country and as a city here in London. 9 million people right here on tier 2 lockdown, soon to be tier 3. If you shut our gyms down, I'm telling you, there's going to be a real problem here, and you're going to be shutting everything down as well, and it's frustrating. So, as you know, I'm running for mayor of London so we can change all this. If you want to learn more, there's my website, brianformayor.london. But we've got policies to put in place here to get London back to work, to use science first, and again, to really get this city healthy and back on track. It's one of the greatest cities in the world. It needs to be great again, and we can do it, but we've all got to work together, and we've got to hold these politicians to actually represent us and stop working in their self-interest. Leave your comments below, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Forward this video to someone who might want to see it. And again, big thanks to Nick Wickholm up north for fighting. Keep fighting. We see you down here. We support you. And thank you for doing the work you do. And let's keep fighting here for our rights and for what we know is the right thing to do. Thank you very much.